आज कौन मंत्र उच्चारण करेगा ये?
I can do it.
Anyone would like to chant the mantra?
Anyone else?
Can we follow?
Yes, sir. If I can try.
Please, please.
Yeah, please. Go ahead. Yes.
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्. The English translation, please.
Before reading this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Nar Narayana, Rishi, the uppermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author.
So before Nara Narayana is the personality of Godhead. We need to pay the respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Nara Narayana. Before Nara Narayana, the personality of Godhead, Narayana. Yeah. So this is the Vaishnava etiquette we need to follow. A devotee should follow. Before reading the scriptures, we should offer our obeisances to the Vaishnavas, Guru, and the personality of Godhead. Because without their mercy, we cannot understand the sublime message given in the scriptures. No matter how intelligent we may think of ourselves, but we cannot understand the sublime message given in the scriptures. For that, we need to have the mercy of the Guru, of the Vaishnavas, and the Supreme Personality of God. Yes. So today's topic is very interesting. We celebrated Guru Purnima on the 21st of July, the Purnima from after which, the Shravan month starts. So the arrangement which is made in a proper chronological order, by the sages, the seers, it is very interesting from the spiritual perspective as well as the angle of science. So our seers, in the ancient India, they were great scientists as well, not only the spiritualists, but they were great scientists as well. So what is the meaning of Shravan? What we call Shravan month?
Shravan means listening.
What does it mean?
Shravan means to listening.
Shravan is listening, yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Shravan.
So Shravan month starts, right? So in the 9 processes of bhakti, first one is Shravan. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, like that. So the first one is Shravan. It starts with Shravan. So amongst the senses, the sense of hearing is very significant. Normally we say seeing is believing, right? That's in the material world. But when it comes to the spiritual world, hearing is more important than seeing. In one of the previous sessions, I had mentioned with the difference, with the other senses. Like supposing somebody has a very beautiful body, very good looking body, or someone's body smells very nicely, fragrant, right? But so that that person can capture our sense of vision, sense of smell, can be captivated by the fragrance of that person. But when that same person who is very good looking, very beautiful, and whose body is very fragrant, but when he speaks something nonsense, we won't like to look at that person again, associate with that person again, right? So the sense of speech and sense of hearing, they have very strong effect on our consciousness. We were talking about sense of hearing
Huh?
in the previous session. Yeah. Anyone?
Please continue. Oh, thoda disturbance.
Okay. So we were talking about the effect of the sense of hearing. It is so strong that when the person is asleep, and even that at that time also, the sense of hearing is very active. And whatever is spoken around that person, the person may be fast asleep at the conscious level, but at the subconscious level, the sense of hearing will capture what is being spoken around that person, and it will be recorded in the subconscious mind. Right? So sense of hearing is very important, especially in our spiritual life. It's the 9 processes of bhakti starts with Shravanam. Now, Shravanam also is very important. Who to Shravan from? Who to hear from? Who should we hear from?
From Guru.
Yes. And what's the meaning of Guru? Who is that Guru?
Guru is the one who removes the
Who can we follow as a Guru?
Mentor.
Who shows us the right path to follow.
who has
Who shows us
realized
the right path?
self.
Yes.
Now, how can we decide that person is showing us the right path?
I don't know.
What's the
If
yardstick
it is good for
to
our life, then we can tell that it is right path. If it is gonna help us in the
sorry,
long run,
the voice?
if that path is going to help us in the long run, if it helps to reach our goal, then it's the right path. Otherwise, it is not. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you. So you're talking about when we reach the destination, then we can
Yeah.
understand whether or not, right?
I mean, which is gonna be helpful for our life. Yes. Yeah, which is towards our goal. Then it is the right path.
Yeah, so my question again is, how can we decide, how can we find out whether the path shown by that person and the path on which we are walking, that will help us to reach at the final destination, final goal. And that also, the goal also has to be right.
I don't have any idea because many people fall into the trap of fake gurus because they talk
Yes.
sweet. So I am really confused on this point. I would really like to have clear conscience on how to follow a guru.
See,
Yes, you're not alone. So many people, they are that kind, same category. Shakuntala ji, आपको कुछ कहना है? You want to say something?
I would like to say something. Guru means the one, the wise one who removes the darkness from our life. Darkness means the ignorance of the true knowledge. What is the true knowledge? The true knowledge is the knowledge of self. Or we can call it in Hindi like Atma Sakshatkar, the person who has realized God, only that can be a guru and
Yes.
that can guide us.
Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Thank you. Guru is combination of 2 words, gu and ru, right?
Yeah.
Gu means darkness, ignorance, illusion, and ru means the person who removes it, remover of that darkness. Gu is the root word. From that so many words are formed. Even we say gufa, gufa is a cave. So cave also indicates darkness, right? Without having a lamp, without having a light, we cannot move around in a cave because it's dark. Correct? Guhya means very secret, very confidential. So these kind of words are formed by using the root word gu, which is darkness. Now, guru also has a meaning, who is very grave, with gravity, depth, very intense. His teachings can be very intense, very sublime. And guru also means heavy. Heavy means he can be very heavy with his disciples. Right? In Ayurveda, we use the word Guru Paki. Guru Paki means the food items which are not so easy to digest, very difficult to digest. So if we are not ready, and the ready means, if we are not submissive, we cannot assimilate the knowledge, sublime knowledge given by our Guru. In order to be able to assimilate that knowledge, we need to be humble. We need to be very submissive. We should not ask questions in a very challenging mood. And that's what's happening, in today's world. See how our psychology, our human psychology works because of our false ego. We think that we are the center of attraction. We are very important person. Very, very VVIP person, right? So that's why when it comes to Guru Tattva also, we say, I made this person as my Guru. I made him, right? I comes. That means I am more important than Guru. I found that person to be qualified to become my Guru. I made him my Guru. Actually, it should be the other way around. Guru makes us, right? Guru makes the disciples. But now our psychology works like that because of our false ego is so strong. So we think that, we are more intelligent than Guru. That's why we make such and such person as our Guru. So that's a very wrong way of approach towards Guru. Guru is the one who makes us. Right? So we have to, in spiritual life, we need to be very submissive. Now, the question I was asking, how can we find out whether the person who we accept as a Guru, he is showing us the right path. Now, Guru always will follow. If he is a bona fide, authentic, sincere Guru, he will follow the scriptures. He will follow the sadhu, and he will follow the parampara. There will be a proper lineage. That means he will follow his Guru, and he will follow the Shastras, and he will follow other great sadhus, their purports, their realizations. He will assimilate into his consciousness, and then he will share his realization, his experience, his learning with his disciples. So he will not contradict. His instructions will not contradict the Shastras. Because Shastras are written and compiled by the original Guru, Vyasadeva, whose birthday, appearance day we celebrated on the 21st of July this year, on Guru Purnima, right? That is celebrated as Guru Purnima because he's the original Guru in this material world. Why is original Guru? Because he's the one who wrote and compiled the Vedic literature. 18 Puranas, 108 Upanishads, and 4 Vedas mainly. Correct? So because of his work, he is treated as the main Guru. And whoever follows his instructions, his teachings, and based on his instructions given in the scriptures and his teachings mentioned in the scriptures, if that person preaches to others, guides others, that person can be qualified to be called as Guru, to be qualified to become a Guru. Otherwise not. Like, somebody said, there are so many fake Gurus, right? Yes, in Kali Yuga, because Kali Yuga is the age of hypocrisy, deception. So people, they deceive. They come in the form of Guru, but they have hidden agenda. A genuine Guru does not have any hidden agenda. His main objective is to help people to progress on the spiritual path and eventually get liberated, freed from the bondage of birth and death at the time of death. But while the disciple is alive, even alive, that disciple should be free from the anxiety, right? That disciple should experience living in the material world like he is living in Vaikuntha planet, the spiritual world. The meaning of Vaikuntha is what? Kuntha means anxiety, stress, misery. And when we add va as prefix, it means without any anxiety. Right? So the person who can help his disciples, his followers, to be freed from material anxiety and experience as though the person, the disciple, is living in the spiritual world, that person can be qualified as Guru, not otherwise. In the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the teachings of Rishabdev also is incarnation of Krishna. He's giving teachings to his over 1,000 sons. So in that, Rishabdev says that one should not become a guru unless and until the person is confident enough that he can help his disciple to be freed from the bondage of birth and death. Now, becoming a guru is like a business, right? People, they do this as a profession. No doubt, they can speak very well. They can be very good orator. They can, crack jokes and, make fun, make their discourses very humorous to attract people. But when it comes to the gravity of the discourses, the intensity of the discourses, because it is lacking. I'm not saying in all the cases, but most of the cases in Kali Yuga, there are some genuine gurus also. But generally, most of the gurus are, they fall into the category of fake gurus because they have some hidden agenda. They want to promote their own objective, their own narration, their own ambition. So coming back to that point, so when that intensity and gravity is not there in the preaching, then the disciples don't benefit much spiritually. Our guru was asked a question, our guru, His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, who comes in the parampara of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So he was asked this question that how can we find out whether by following the instructions of a guru, we are advancing? Who can we ask that we are advancing or not? So Guru said, that no need to go here and there to get some certificate, to get some validation from other people. You can judge yourself whether you are advancing on the spiritual path or not. If you don't succumb to the temptations which are created in the mind by so many desires, influenced by the modes of nature, mode of passion and ignorance, if you don't succumb to those temptations and you defeat those temptations, that means you are advancing. So you can judge yourself. Don't depend on anybody else. Because if you go and ask somebody else also, that person also may be struggling himself or herself. So if the other person is struggling himself or herself, how can that person give you certificate or valid certificate, which can be believable, which you can depend upon? Am I making sense here?
Yes, sir.
So, Yashna ji, are you okay? Is that okay what I said?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we need to find a guru who follows the scriptures, who follows the teachings of Vyasadeva, who is a true representative of Vyasadeva. A guru before becoming a guru is a good disciple. If someone is not a good disciple, that person cannot be a good guru. The prerequisite of becoming a guru is that person has to be a disciple. That means he should be coming in the proper lineage, parampara. He should be coming in the lineage of gurus, previous gurus, and he should be following the instructions given by the previous gurus. If he's doing that as a disciple, then he qualifies himself to become a guru. And unfortunately, nowadays that part is a bit lacking. On Guru Purnima, so many gurus, they accept dakshina, gifts, and all other things. They are worshipped, their feet are washed, and the Charnamrit is taken, honored by their followers. I should say so-called followers and so-called disciples. But such gurus, they do not follow the teachings of Vyasadeva, the original guru. They speculate so many things. They concoct so many things. I had shared in one of my previous sessions long time ago. I happened to be one client's place in Hong Kong for Vastu consultation. So after we discussed about other things, then we were having some food for breakfast. So at that time, a Zee news channel, some program was going on. It was Guru Purnima on that day. So I won't disclose the name of the person. He's very popular, very famous in India and abroad also. So his program was going on the Zee news channel. They were showing that, that Guru's followers, they surrounded him and they were discussing with him. So one of the followers asked him a question, Gurudev, if it is said that God resides in everyone's heart, then why do we commit sin? Does anyone have any answer? If God resides in our hearts, then why do we commit sin? Why God doesn't stop us from committing sin? Does anyone have any answer? Any guess? Please,
I think
don't feel...
God is hidden deep within those vices of the human being. So we are not
God
able
is
to
hidden
connect with
deep.
that directly. It's the external things that are mattered most.
Okay. So that means that God is covered by the vices.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, can you repeat the question?
The question is, if God resides in everyone's heart, then why do we commit sin? Why doesn't God stop us from committing sin?
Because
do you
of
have to
free
say?
will. Because we have a free
Because
will,
of what?
always have a choice. Because we always have to make a choice. It is
Yes.
given in our hands. That like we are not made up like a machine that we will act like this. God has given us free will, so we can make the right or wrong choices. That is
Yes.
where we decide the karma.
Correct. Okay. Anybody else? So far, we got two answers. Two different answers.
Few
Yeah.
answers in chat also.
Yeah. So Vinodji, I think that God wants to possibly know whether we can apply free will and vivek.
Uh-huh.
So he is allowing us to explore the world the way we think, and he wants to see whether we are able to apply our vivek buddhi and understand what to do and what not to do.
Yeah. So that means using our free will, right?
Yeah, using our free will, because if he has given us some free will,
Correct.
then are we using it or not? So जब हम स्कूल या कॉलेज में जाते हैं तो हमें टेस्ट तो देनी पड़ेगी ना.
Yes, you're right.
टेस्ट के लिए तो एग्जाम होगी और एग्जाम के लिए पढ़ना होगा. तो ये मेरे हिसाब से this earth is like a school.
Yes.
And we are sent here to study.
Correct.
That's what I feel.
Okay. Anybody else would like to share?
I'll read some comments from the chat. Okay.
Okay.
Vinita says karma overtakes. And then Mahita says he's there in heart, not in brain. And then there's one more answer. And there's one more answer from Mukesh. To balance our karma, if we commit sin, we will be punished. But that punishment is actually way forward to him to purify us.
Yes. Okay. See, now you have given different answers. Thank you for your sharing. Now, in that gathering, which we were watching on the TV, so when this question was asked by this guru, to this guru, by one of his followers. So this guru, he closed his eyes for a few moments as though he was meditating very deeply. Then he opened his eyes. Then he gave the answer. He said, don't you think that God goes to sleep sometimes? So when God goes to sleep, at that time we commit sin. That means in this world, each moment somebody is committing sin, right? So that means God is sleeping all the time. So that's not the correct answer. So my point I want to make here, such people, they are worshipped as guru. Vyasadeva has never mentioned anything like that. When God goes to sleep, people commit sin. In Vyasadeva is one of the compilations, Mahabharata, in one part of Bhagavad Gita, same question was asked by Arjuna. He put forward that question to Krishna that, why people commit sin in spite of knowing that what they are going to do is sinful and they will have to face the consequences, but still they do it. So what kind of force pushes them to commit sins? So simple answer Krishna gave is lust, temptation. When people cannot control the lust and temptation, they commit sin. Now, somebody said because God is covered by the vices. God is not covered by anything. God cannot be covered by anything. He is the illumination, eternal light. So that cannot be covered. What is covered is our own consciousness. Our own intelligence is covered. So because of the covering of the vices we have, the imprints of vices are so strong, the effect of the vices are so strong because of the previous habits, by committing those kind of sinful activities again and again. So many times we repeated. So the imprints of those actions in our consciousness, they are so strong that we don't listen to our Cheta Guru. One of the gurus is Cheta Guru, residing in our heart, God himself, as Paramatma. Our Jivatma is called Atma or Jivatma, and Paramatma also is sitting with us in the heart, with our soul. Many times we experience, that something we are going to do, some voice comes from inside, don't do it. It will not be good for you. But we still continue. We go on. We don't listen to that voice. And that inner voice is the voice of Cheta Guru, the expansion of Paramatma. Paramatma expansion of God. So that also is one of the gurus. And so that person who can become a guru, to whom we can surrender, who is the bona fide spiritual master. So Cheta Guru guides us. One of the things Cheta Guru does that he, when he sees that we are very sincere, we are ready. That's why he said many times, when God sees that we are ready, he brings us to the Guru. And when Guru sees that, we are qualified, then he reveals the proper form of God to us and how we can worship, what kind of relationship we have with God. So other things, what you said, free will and all that, all these things are very valid. God doesn't interfere in our free will, though that inner voice keeps on bothering us. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Otherwise, the consequences will be very bad. But still, we do it. So we are misusing our free will. When we misuse our free will, then our will, that means our future, cannot be so good. And God doesn't interfere in our free will. Like with Arjuna also, he gave him the instructions. Then the final decision, he told Arjuna that he is the one who needs to make the final decision. He cannot tell Krishna that you decide on my behalf. Krishna said, no, you are the person. I gave you all the information. I give you all the knowledge. Now, using your intelligence, you decide what you want to do. Whether you want to fight or you want to run away as a coward and go and sit in the forest and do meditation. Then Arjuna decided to fight. He picked up his bow, Gandiva bow. So yeah, Guru does that because of his gravity, his heaviness, and that heaviness also is out of concern. He chastises us. He tests us in different ways. So yeah, we have to be very careful about these fake gurus. Sometimes in discourses, jokingly, I say that China is very popular for exporting the material products, consumer products. And India is very famous for exporting gurus. India produces so many gurus. Every day, somebody will proclaim himself or even herself to be a guru. So these self-appointed, self-proclaimed gurus, we need to be careful from. These are not following any lineage or any parampara. And that's why they don't follow the instructions given by Vyasadeva. So such people should not be worshipped as gurus. And if they accept worship from their followers, so-called followers and so-called disciples, they are accumulating very heavy karma for themselves. The analogy we give in this aspect, with regard to supposing somebody uses a printer at home and produces a degree that I'm a PhD, I'm this, I'm that. So that person's degree, some people can believe who are not well educated. But people who are really learned, they will not accept that fake degree. Because they will question the person, which university, which recognized university of the degree from. So if in the material world, the educational institutions, universities, they have to be recognized by the government. And whatever certificates are issued by such institutions and universities, those certificates will only be valid, considered as authentic. So if this rule is applicable in the material world, what to speak of the spiritual world? Spiritual life is more significant than the material world. Material life is temporary. Our spiritual life is eternal. So if in the temporary world, these kind of certificates are to be validated by the government recognized institutions, then can we think that, that in the spiritual life, on the spiritual path, any Tom, Dick and Harry can claim to be a guru, and then we accept, and then that person can guide us and help us to become liberated from the material bondage of birth and death? I don't think so. Do you agree with me or not?
Yes.
Anyone has any objection or any comments?
Oh, agree.
Hello? Yes? Sorry, your voice is not clear. Can you speak clearly, please?
I think we can move ahead.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, so we need to be very careful about that. Otherwise, it is said that wherever that guru goes, his followers also will go. So broadly speaking, there are 3 types of gurus, broadly speaking. Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, and Cheta Guru. Even there's 4th category.
Please repeat. All right.
Shiksha Guru.
Okay.
That means we can learn from so many people in the world. So many people can be our Shiksha Gurus. Then Diksha Guru. That's the main guru who establishes our link with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Diksha Guru. Diksha comes from Dakshata, awareness. That means he helps us to become very aware whenever any vices attack us. Whenever desires attack us. So how to face these desires, how to face them and defeat them. So that can be possible when we are spiritually aware. So that awareness can come from the teachings of a guru. So that Daksha, then that guru gives that Diksha. Because of the Diksha received from a guru, Diksha guru, a person becomes Daksha. That means very aware, very alert. Right? And Chetaguru, as I said, God Himself, Supreme Personality of God Himself, is residing in our heart as Paramatma, next to our soul, and keeps on guiding us. Whenever we are tempted to do something wrong, sinful, then He is there to stop us. Sometimes, people they say it's like a Vivek Buddhi, or Vivek is stopping us from doing that, right? But generally, it is called the kind of guidance from the Cheta Guru. Vivek Buddhi, normally people become wise after the incident. So Vivek Buddhi becomes more active, when we do something and then we regret. So that's why we say, मुझे अपना विवेक खा रहा है. विवेक खाता कभी है जब भी हमने कोई कार्य कर लिया. Right? So yeah, so these are the three main categories. Now, otherwise also, the different definitions are given. First guru, our first guru is our mother and father. They are the first gurus. Then the second is our Shiksha Guru, who nurtures us, who gives us proper education to survive in the material world. And then comes Diksha Guru. When we mature, then we meet Diksha Guru, who can help us to become more aware and alert in this material world and don't get affected by the modes of nature and don't get defeated by the desires, so that eventually we qualify to be free from the bondage of birth and death. Right? One mantra is very common. Most of you might have heard that mantra many times. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Para Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Right? I would invite, if somebody can chant this mantra. How do you chant normally this mantra?
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu,
Gururvishnuः Gururdevo Maheshwarah Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha
Very good.
Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Chara Acharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha
Very
Shri
good. Very good.
Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Vishvatetam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Triguna Sadgurum Tam Namami Ajnanathimiranthasya
Very good.
Jnananjana Shalakaya Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
So this mantra is given in Skanda Purana. In the Uttarakhand of Skanda Purana, I think it's called Guru Gita, that section. So many times what happens when people chant this mantra, they say Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara. Actually, not Guru, it is Guru.
Guru.
So Guru is not Brahma, Guru is not Vishnu, Guru is not Mahesh, and Guru is not Sakshat Parabrahma. Guru is like Guru, when we add Ru after Guru, it is Guru. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. So Guru, who is a bona fide Guru, who is following the parampara, that person is like Brahma. He's not Brahma, he's like Brahma. And that person is like Vishnu. He's not Vishnu, but he's like Vishnu. And he's like Mahesh, Lord Shiva, Rudra. But he himself is not like Shiva, and he will never claim to be like that. A genuine guru, a sincere guru, would be very humble. He will never claim that I'm God, I'm incarnation of God. He will never claim that. Fake gurus will claim that. Right? Because fake gurus, they are fake, their self-esteem is very low. So they will keep on again and again claiming that I'm incarnation of God. You should worship me as God. But the actual bona fide guru will never claim like that. And if someone out of sincerity, out of humility, out of devotion, even that disciple worships that bona fide guru as God and treats him like God, that guru will not like it. He'll tell him, please stop it. I'm not God. I'm just guru. So these kind of indications are there, which can help us to find out, who is a bona fide guru, who is a genuine guru. So this mantra, many times people, they chant improperly. They pronounce improperly, incorrectly. So it's not Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara. It is Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara. Guru Sakshat Par Brahma, Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. So I bow down to only that Guru who is bona fide, who is like Brahma, who is like Vishnu, and who is like Mahesh, and whose Sakshat is almost like Parabrahma, Supreme Person. To that person, only to that Guru, I bow down. So we need to be careful also when we chant the mantra, otherwise the meaning changes. When the pronunciation is not done properly, then the meaning also changes. Yeah, so coming back to this mantra is very popular even in Skanda Purana, as I said earlier. So Guru's job is, I'm using the word job normally, I cannot say it's job as, job as like very superficial meaning, very trivial meaning, but it's very deep. So Guru's kartavya, Guru's dharma is to help his disciples to have proper knowledge from the scriptures. There are mainly three aspects. Sambandha, Abhidaya, and Prayojana. So what is the relationship? What is our relationship? What is the relationship disciple has with the Supreme Person? And what is Abhidaya? What kind of process he should follow to attain the goal, Prayojana, the final goal? That means get united with him, not merge with him. Guru will never tell his disciple to merge into the Supreme Person. Merging is not recommended. It's one type of liberation, but not recommended liberation. Because we are always, our identity is always separate from the Supreme Person. We cannot lose our identity. This also the analogy I had given previous session. Like people who know a little bit of maths, when we draw, our professor was teaching us geometry. He drew a line on a blackboard and he asked us, what is that? So we just said, it's line. He said, no, it's not a line. It's a combination of different dots. Different dots, when they unite, they make a line or segment or a ray, right? So for a lay person, it's just a line. So same way, when someone even gets that liberation of merging into the Brahma Jyoti, for a third person, it may look like that person has merged into the Brahma Jyoti. But after merging also, that person, that living being, that living soul, spirit soul, does not lose his identity. Our identity is not lost. Like the fire also. Fire also is like bundle of different sparks. A flame when the sparks they get united, it looks like a flame to us. But when we analyze that flame, it's a bundle of combination of different sparks. So the sparks have their own identity. The water in the ocean, generally we say it's water, but water also is combination of different drops. So each drop has its own identity. So this is the reason, Krishna told Arjuna, there was no time that he was not there in the past. And there won't be any time in future that he won't be there. He won't be there and Krishna won't be there. That means Krishna and Arjuna, they are two different individuals. He did not tell Arjuna that you can merge into me. No. He told me, become my devotees. Render service unto me. But Krishna never told Arjuna that you merge into me. You are my very great devotee, very dear devotee, dear friend, my cousin. You can merge into me. No, cannot. Simple. In material world also, when children are born from the parents, they are part and parcel of the parent's body. After birth, they cannot merge into the parent's body. They can hug parents, they can embrace them, they can associate with them, but they cannot merge into the parent's body, though they come from the parent's body. So if that rule is applicable in the material world, why can't it be applicable in the spiritual world? Material world is a perverted form of the spiritual world. Whatever things are happening in the spiritual world, in the perverted form, it's like a reflection happening in the material world. So if merging of children is not possible, children cannot merge into the bodies of their parents after taking birth. Same way, spirit soul cannot merge into the Supreme Spirit, Supreme Person, can associate with the Supreme Person. Yes, merging can only be possible in the Brahma Jyoti. But as I said, we don't lose our personal identity. Our personal identity still remains. So it is mentioned in the scriptures that people who opt for this kind of liberation, merging into the Brahma Jyoti, they can live in that form, merge into the Brahma Jyoti for millions and billions and trillions of years. But eventually, they don't feel satisfaction there because they have not lost their identity. So they don't feel comfortable there. Why? Because the basic characteristic feature of a spirit soul is to interact with others. When we go and visit somebody as a guest, we go there and just sit idle. And our host also sits idle there. How long can we enjoy that? Though the host is present and the host feels that we are present as a guest, but we don't talk to each other. We just sit there. So how long can we enjoy that kind of atmosphere? Eventually, we need to interact. We need to communicate. Right? That's the basic characteristic feature of the soul, to interact, to exchange our feelings, our emotions. In the material world, exchange of emotions are there at the material level. In the spiritual world also, exchange of emotions are there, but they are more pure, they are spiritualized. The emotions are not sprouting from the attachment. There, the emotions are sprouting from detachment in the spiritual world. But emotions are there. Without emotions, how devotees can serve Krishna? How Krishna can reciprocate with his devotees if their emotions, feelings are not there? Feelings are always there. But in the material world, our feelings are contaminated because of our false ego, our attachment. And we are promoted to the spiritual world, then our feelings, our emotions are purified because of detachment. Detachment from our own self. In the material world, we are so much attached to our own self. We are self-centered. If anybody can satisfy our desires, fulfill our ambitions, help us to fulfill our ambitions, we like that person. we admire that person, we praise that person. But when the same person creates an obstacles in our enjoyment, we don't like that person. The person is the same. When that person's attitude changes, our attitude also changes towards him. Am I right?
Yes.
Any comments?
Oh, correct. 100% correct.
Yes.
Excellent.
So most of us, we experience this in the material world, right?
Yes, I think excellent आपने जो कहा है that the spiritual world is nothing but a reflection of the material world, and the material world is nothing but a reflection of the spiritual world. So the same thing,
Yes.
same laws that apply here apply there. So yes,
Yes,
absolutely. I
yes.
completely understand and also agree with what you're saying. आपने जो example दिया है about
Thank you.
the phenomena of merging, I think it's so
Yeah.
beautiful and so well said, because this is one of the flaws of thinking. बहुत सारे spiritual लोग ये सोचते हैं, जो आपने अभी बहुत अच्छी तरह explain किया, कि हम एक हो जाएंगे. We want to merge with the Supreme, they will say. As if there is no separation between me
Yes.
and the Supreme. As if I become the Supreme.
Yeah.
But आपने बहुत अच्छी तरह explain किया
Yeah.
है कि आप वहां बैठ जरूर सकते हैं as a kind of devotee, because you are only a devotee, so you can be devoted to the Supreme, you cannot become the Supreme.
Correct.
So I think very
Yes.
deep,
Yes.
very profound and very true. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the comments. Thank you. Any other person wants to comment anything?
So I have this doubt. Then what is Advaita? There's no two. There's only one, they say, right? So what is that? And they also say Meera merged into Krishna, right? So what is that? I
Sorry,
mean,
Meera, what? Sorry, come again.
Mirabai,
Yeah.
she merged into him, into Krishna. I mean, that's what
Yeah,
I...
apparently in the material world, she merged into the deity of Krishna. But as I said, after merging also, the person does not lose his or her identity. Identity is not lost. So in the material world, when she wanted to leave her body, she merged into the deity of Krishna, and she went to the spiritual world and started serving him eternally.
Okay.
So what you said about, Advaita, so
Uh,
it is that, quality-wise, we are equal to the Supreme Person, quality-wise. But quantity-wise, we are not. His qualities are unlimited. We cannot count his qualities.
yeah.
And some of his qualities we have. Right? Now, the Supreme Person, the features, if we see, is like a human form. Right?
Yeah.
That's the reason human form is considered as the topmost species of life. In a material world, 8.4 million species of life, human form is considered as the topmost. Because that human form resembles the form of the Supreme Person, Shama Sundara. So we are fortunate in the human form, we are fortunate that the Supreme Person has given us the same form like he has. So form-wise also, we match with him. Quality-wise also, many qualities we may have. We can become godly, but we cannot become God. So quality-wise also, there are many qualities we may have which are coming from him, but quantity-wise, we cannot compare with him.
Okay. Makes sense. Thank you. Yeah.
So Vinod ji, question जो भी पूछा, is it fair to say Advait का जो question था that there is no other, which is actually true in a way because God lives within us and He's working through us. Am I right, Vinod ji? Sorry, I think he got disconnected.
No, he's
There
there.
was some
Sorry.
connection problem.
हाँ, correct. नहीं, विनोद जी जो मैं ये जो क्वेश्चन पूछा है इन्होंने that there is no
Is it okay now?
other. हाँ, yes, विनोद जी, absolutely fine. नहीं, जो क्वेश्चन जो पूछा गया था that there is no other, okay, Advait says that. तो इसको हम इस तरह से भी देख सकते हैं that God lives through us, works through us. So there is no other. There is God only. या फिर हम ये कह सकते हैं कि जैसे विनोद जी ने कहा कि द क्वालिटी एंड द क्वांटिटी, सो कैन इट बी सेड विनोद जी कि जैसे हम ईश्वर के नाखून के बराबर हो सकते हैं या हम ईश्वर के बाल के एक स्ट्रैंड के बराबर हो सकते हैं, पर हम ईश्वर नहीं हो सकते. तो देयर इज नो अदर, कोई और नहीं है, ईश्वर ही है. पर क्वालिटी और क्वांटिटी को मैं इस तरह से समझना चाहती हूँ.
Yeah, here is a bit difference.
हाँ, please.
Yeah, see, we, it said the Veda Abeda Tattva. एक प्रकार से भेद भी है और देखा जाए तो अभेद भी है, कोई अंतर नहीं है. On one hand, we can say there is difference. On the other hand, we say there is no difference. Veda Abeda. Tattva. So, we are part and parcel of the Supreme Spirit, Supreme Soul. That's why we have similar qualities like He has. Right? And आपने जो बाल का उदाहरण दिया, so yes, we represent Him, we resemble Him. Right? In many ways, we look like Him. Correct? So we can become godly, but we cannot become God. Right?
Yes.
We can become, the divinity may be there within us, but we cannot become divine.
Correct.
The Supreme Person.
Yes.
So we have our own identity, and the Supreme Person has his own identity. So when we realize that, though we are two separate individuals, but when we start connecting ourselves with Him by serving Him, then in a way we lose our identity. Because we get so absorbed in serving, so we forget our identity.
Correct. So
that's the actual form of liberation Vaishnavas aspire for.
So विनोद जी, ये भी तो हम कह सकते हैं ना कि फूल, पत्ते, twigs are all part of the tree, but they are not the tree.
Correct. Absolutely.
So
and
they are one, but
they are very valuable. They look very beautiful as long as they are connected to the tree.
Correct. Very nice.
When they are separated from the tree, they cannot survive for too long.
Yes, that's true.
They lose the beauty, they lose the life.
Yeah, very true.
So as long as we are also connected with the Supreme Person, we become valuable. Otherwise, there is no value. We don't have any value.
So whether he understood Advait and Dvait thing, because it's a very important thing to understand.
Yeah. Can become God-like.
Yes.
But you can't become God.
Yeah. So you will retain the fragrance of the flower that you are, right? Because you're on the tree. Agar aap ped se hat gaye, to your fragrance is also lost. Yeah. Very nice.
Yes.
Beautiful. Very nice. Thank you so much.
So the flower will also have his own identity. Right?
That's true.
So sometimes, because of the flower, the tree will be appreciated.
Yes.
Correct? So
Yes.
sometimes because devotees, they become so dedicated, and because of the devotees, people start glorifying God himself. So the devotee becomes the symbol of identity for God himself.
Like Hanuman, I think.
Like Hanuman.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Correct.
like Chaitanya
Correct.
Mahaprabhu, yes.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Like Yashoda, Mother Yashoda.
Correct.
The meaning of the word Yashoda, Yash means fame, right? Popularity, glorification. And Adam is the person who gives that. So Yashoda is the person who gave glorification, more glorification, who added to the glorification and praises of Krishna. After the Damodar Leela, when Yashoda might tied Krishna, baby Krishna, with the ukhal, with the grinding mortar, Krishna became more popular in Vrindavan, in whole Brajamandala. So her name is very suitable, Yashoda. Same in Narada. The person who gives us information about Narayana, who can ignite the devotion for Narayana within our heart, that person is Narada. जो नारायण को अदा करता है हमें, the person who gives Narayana to us, that's Narada. And person who gives fame to Krishna, that is Yashoda. जो कृष्ण को यश देती है वो यशोदा. Yeah. So sometimes devotees, they become more popular than God himself. That's how you will see, you specifically mentioned about Sri Hanuman. Now, if you see in today's time, Hanumanji has more temples than Lord Ramachandra, right?
So he
In Lord
himself says,
Ramachandra's
no,
temple, where
Ram.
Lord Ram's and Sita's deities are there, Hanumanji's temple also must be there. And there are many temples in which only Hanuman's deities are there. So there are more temples around the world, Hanuman's temple, than Lord Ramachandra's temple. So God does that. He makes his devotees more popular than himself, more worshipable than himself. And he enjoys that. Like parents, when parents they see the children are more respected in the society, how proud the parents will feel.
True.
So same way, God as the Supreme Father, when he sees his devotees are worshipped more than he himself, he feels very proud of those devotees. Right? So that's why Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, he always used to say, that please, you become a devotee of God. Don't try to become fake incarnation of God with a desire to be worshipped by people, innocent people. When you become devotee, successful devotee of God, God himself will serve you. Of course, our objective should not be like that we want service from God, but that happens. So when people, they start spiritual life in a very humble way, they are respected all around. They are honored. And people who start in a very arrogant way, claiming to be incarnation of God and all that, they are humiliated. When as long as their good karma, the reservoir of good karma is paying the reward, they will enjoy their life. But once that account is exhausted, their true identity is revealed, then people will come to know about their true colors. Right?
Yeah.
So yes, coming back to the discussion about Guru Tattva. So yes, Guru can be the person who can be very heavy with us for our benefit. The Guru chastises his disciples also for the benefit of the disciples. Normally, because we are so pampered in this material world, and we actually anticipate pampering from Guru also. So that's why the person who gives us the instructions, which are very easy to follow, then we like such a person as a Guru. When the instructions are too difficult for us to follow because of our laziness or because of our indisciplined nature, then we don't like such a Guru. We think that Guru is not good. So we need to correct our consciousness. Before, in the ancient times, we are very fortunate that we are not being so much kind of put under that very heavy test, by the gurus. But before, the gurus used to put people so much under heavy test, it was not so easy for the disciples to tolerate, to undergo that kind of exams, very heavy tests. Fasting, so many days, Guru won't give proper food to the disciples. Even Krishna also had to undergo that when he was in Gurukul. Sandipani Muni, he used to train Krishna also in that way, very strict way. After doing all the spiritual practices and all that, then only the food was given. So Guru Mai, Sandipani Muni's wife, would feel sorry for Krishna and Sudama mainly. And she would tell her husband, Sandipani Muni, why are you being so cruel? So he used to say, it is for their benefit. They are brahmacharis now, so they have to be molded. They have to be disciplined in such a way that when they grow up as adults, they can become good examples in the society. So Krishna himself also had to undergo that kind of very heavy test in the Sandipani Muni's ashram. But we are very fortunate, that in our today's world, it is not so strict. We need to understand the difference between a guru and a modern teacher. Guru imparts his knowledge according to the standard of the disciple, according to the qualification of the disciple. He's not like a modern school teacher. School teacher, they are just like employees. They follow the syllabus given by the institution. And the students can demand, teachers this subject, teachers that subject, like that. So the teachers, they're there to follow what the students are demanding, because eventually they are the employees of the students, because the remuneration teachers get, it is coming from the fees paid by the students. So the students are, in a way, their employers. So the teachers, they have to follow the instructions of the students as employees. That's a very pathetic situation. So Guru's situation is not like that. Guru is in a very commanding position. A disciple cannot demand his Guru, teach me this, teach me that. No, Guru will see that whether the disciple is qualified to learn that or not. And only after making sure that the disciple is qualified to learn that, then only Guru will teach that particular subject, otherwise not. So this is the major difference between a Guru and a modern teacher. We should not put modern teacher in the same category of a Guru. Anybody else has anything to say in this regard? Any comment?
Oh, absolutely true. And these days, like, I think the teacher's task is really, really difficult when, see, the students are their clients, basically. It's
Yes.
customer support system, sort of.
Yes.
But Guru
The things
is
have changed a lot. In the material world, the things have changed a lot.
yes, true.
In few decades, we don't want to speak of centuries. Even few decades also, so many things have changed.
Sir, like, sir, okay, I'll ask questions and in the end.
Sorry?
Sir, I will ask questions in the end of the session.
You can ask now in this regard if you want to. Relevant to this topic we are discussing now.
No. Oh, okay. It's regarding the Guru, but I will ask the question in the end. Like, if to find a Guru, how do I find a Guru when in my astrological chart it said that you will not find a Guru, but you need a Guru?
Why you say that? That in your astrological chart that said that you will not find a guru?
Some astrologer told me that you will not anyone as a guru, but you need a guru to like do good in your life and for spiritual upliftment and everything.
Yeah, see now in this regard, very humbly, I would put forward my understanding and my realization. See, the astrological chart is based on the planetary position at the time of the birth of an individual, right? Now, we in our life, we have always free will, correct? So, when we use our free will properly, then the malefic planets' adverse effect can be minimized. Correct?
Yes.
When we use our free will properly. When we misuse our free will, then the beneficial planets' good effect also can be minimized, can be reduced. So when the desire is very strong, very sincere desire, and you sincerely pray every day, very often, to the Supreme Guru, Bhagavan, that please send me a guru in this lifetime, he will send.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so
Because
much.
he has the ability to change the destiny of the person. He has the ability. Now, in order for him to use his ability, you have to show your sincerity. When he's convinced by your sincerity, he will use his ability to change your destiny. I know I'm not just telling you in theory. I come across people, clients, in their life, I've seen that. Because I do the astrology consultation also for my clients. And I've seen that. It happens.
It changes.
And it may sound like a miracle thing, but yes, life is full of miracles also. Life is full of uncertainties. At the same time, life is full of miracles also. So we need to open that area, where we can see miracles in our life.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
And you'll be surprised to see that.
Yep.
When your desire is very sincere, when your wish is very sincere, and Bhagwan reciprocates with you, and he sends the guru in your life, you'll be so much surprised to see that.
Okay.
So I
Thank
just
you so much, sir.
I just
And
want
it's
to
happened.
add, Ambika and Vinod ji, कि sometimes something leads you to the guru.
Yeah.
जैसे एक किताब होती है, suddenly you buy a book, and that book somehow
Yeah.
leads you to the guru. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Correct.
Sometimes just
Yes.
a chance meeting with somebody, and that person said something to you, and that clicks, and then you are led to the guru. So
Yes.
you just like
Yes.
Vinod ji ne kaha, that desire has to be burning.
Okay.
एक अंदर
Correct.
से एक
Yes.
ना burning
Yes.
desire होनी चाहिए कि बस, and then you will see that things will come to you, and that will take you to the guru, because maybe
Absolutely.
you may not appear in
Absolutely.
front of you, right? But there will be these little things, steps, and then you will reach the guru. I meet so many
Yes.
people,
I am my own example as well.
miracles. एक मतलब मैं तो I can talk a lot about how people experience these miracles, and suddenly something opens in their life and they are led there. So
Absolutely.
you have to just be open that
Yeah.
God
Yes, yes.
will take
You use a very right word, Trupti. You said that the burning desire, desire has to be very burning. We should have that very strong desire,
Yeah.
and that can come, when we feel that agony in this material world.
I am a living example actually.
burn
I have
all obstacles. ये जो desire, burning desire है ना, वो हर
Exactly.
obstacle को जला सकती है.
Absolutely.
So you have to have that. सुबह शाम रात वो
Yes.
अंदर होना ही चाहिए आपके अंदर कि नहीं मुझे I want some guidance, And also I want to add, Vinodji, with your permission, that not
problem.
necessary that the guru may stay with you all the time.
Beautiful. Yes, yes,
The
yes.
guru comes to you, puts you on the path, and then you have to walk that path. ये नहीं कि आपके
Yes.
गुरु को गुरु के आपको you have to hold the robes
सानिध्य में
of the
रहना है।
guru. जैसे कि विनोद जी ने बहुत सुंदर एग्जाम्पल दिया of the mother being your first guru. So अभी माँ का पल्लू पकड़ के थोड़ी हम जिंदगी भर चलेंगे, है ना? तो इसी तरह से
Correct,
हमें अपने
correct.
गुरु का पल्लू पकड़ के नहीं रहना। हमें
Yes.
गुरु आपको सिर्फ धक्का देगा, then you go, you know. So ये भी होना चाहिए, अदरवाइज डिपेंडेंसी हो जाएगी, है ना? गुरु विनोद जी कुछ इसके ऊपर कुछ बताइए। How we should how should we behave when we meet our guru?
Correct. Yes, see, बहुत सुंदर बात आपने बताई. Very wonderful thing you said. I like that word, that burning desire has to be there. When that burning desire is there, that fire can burn all. We don't have to be dependent on a person guru. That living guru. Well, in scriptures, two words are mentioned. One is Vapu, and the other is Vani. So many times what happens, some disciples, they become too attached to the Vapu. That means the personal presence of the Guru. So what Shastra says, instead of focusing so much on the Vapu, you focus on the Vani of the Guru, the instructions of the Guru. So
Vinod,
Guru
what's the
always
first word you
lives
said?
in his instructions.
आपने first word क्या बोला?
Sorry?
What is the first word you said? Vani or
Vapu.
Vapu.
Spelling.
Okay. हाँ जी.
VAPU. Vapu.
VAPU. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Explain जरा करेंगे दोनों please.
So Vapu is the personal presence of the Guru. When the Guru is present around us, physically present. Yeah. And the Vani, that Guru is present in his Vani, his instructions, his teachings. So that is more important for the disciple. When Guru is physically present, but we don't follow the instructions given by the Guru, then what kind of disciple are we? And on the other hand, in the absence of physical presence of the Guru, we still follow the instructions given by the Guru. Guru will be very pleased. So that is more important. Vani is more important than Vapu. Am I clear here, Trupti ji?
हाँ जी.
Yeah.
Can you explain more about the Vani?
So yes, so Guru's instructions.
किस तरह के गुरु के इंस्ट्रक्शंस आपको फॉलो करने चाहिए? आपको मतलब can you say a little more on this वाणी के ऊपर?
See, there are some general instructions given by Guru, which are applicable to most of his disciples. Then again, there are specific instructions given by Guru to particular disciple according to the caliber of the disciple. Like I give you the practical example in Mahabharata. Dronacharya taught archery to everybody. Dhanur Vidya. He gave general instructions to all his pupils, all the disciples, Kauravas and Pandavas. Amongst the Pandavas, the 5 brothers, in addition to the general archery, general Dhanur Vidya, when it came to Maharaj Yudhishthira, the eldest of the Pandavas, he told him how to use spear, the bala, right? When it came to Bhima, because of his physical strength, Dronacharya taught him how to fight with the club using gada, mace. And when it came to Arjuna, he taught him archery, how to use bow and arrows. Then Nakul and Sahadev, he taught them how to use swords. Kadak, talwar. So in addition to the general teachings of archery, specific skill he inculcated in the disciples according to their caliber, according to their propensities. So Guru also does that according to the propensity, specific propensity of a particular disciple. He gives specific instructions. Is that clear, Trupti ji?
Yes, Vinod. Clear, clear.
So we need to always, when Guru is physically not present, because Guru is not going to be there always physically for us. So we need to see our Guru's presence in his instructions. And when we follow that, when we follow those instructions with that same sincerity, same dedication, same humility, then we will see the results. We will advance spiritually.
विनोद जी, मुझे एक सवाल आ रहा है मेरे मन में कि हमारे देश में बहुत सारे
हाँ, बोलिए.
there have been so many guni people, है ना? Let us कहना विवेकानंदा, योगानंदा, रमना महर्षि, बहुत सारे हुए हैं, ठीक है? बट उनके कोई डिवोटी उनके जैसे नहीं हुए.
कैन यू रिपीट? कौन बहुत सारे हुए हैं तृप्ति जी?
मैंने कहा लेट अस से, मैंने कहा कि बहुत सारे
गुरुजन में कट रही है.
सॉरी, बहुत सारे गुरुजन हुए हैं. लेट अस से कैन विवेकानंदा, योगानंदा, रमना महर्षि,
या
पर उनका कोई डिवोटी वैसे नहीं हुए. सो आई वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड द गुरु शिष्य का जो एक होता है कि गुरु ही रहता है और शिष्य कभी गुरु के स्थान तक नहीं जा पाता. So can you throw some light on this, like why is it that there was no second kind of Vivekananda or there was no second, like क्यों ऐसा क्यों होता है?
Yeah, see, sometimes what happens, Trupti ji, this is my understanding, limited understanding. Sometimes some gurus, they come for specific mission, specific purpose, specific objective, specific goal. So when the mission is accomplished, then they are not so much interested to make the disciples. Like you gave me example of Swami Vivekananda, right? Now Swami Vivekananda's guru was Paramahamsa.
Yes.
Right? Ramakrishna Paramahamsa.
Yes.
Now, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa made Vivekananda as his disciple. Vivekananda, he followed the instructions of his guru. He became more popular than Ramakrishna Paramahamsa.
Yes.
Right? There are so many statues of Swami Vivekananda. So many roads are named after him. But hardly we find any statue of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa out of Calcutta.
That's true.
So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's mission was to have at least one disciple who can propagate his teachings. Vivekananda's mission was not that to make disciples.
Okay, got it.
His main mission to create the pride in the hearts of Hindus about the Sanatana Dharma. And that he accomplished very well when he gave the speech in Chicago.
Yes, yes.
So that was his mission. His objective was not to make disciples.
Correct. Yeah, I understand that message.
So there are many such representatives.
मतलब generally ऐसा देखा गया है, generally ऐसे देखा गया है कि disciples कभी गुरु का स्थान नहीं ले सकते. They are not able to be that powerful and that influential as their guru. आपने जो example दिया वो correct है. गुरु ने disciple and then Vivekananda was. But generally ये देखा गया, आश्रम खत्म हो जाते हैं, जो भी गुरुजन आश्रम बनाते हैं, after they pass away, everything is just over and done with. तो जैसे आपने कहा हो सकता है that's their mission. But then they are not able to create people like them. So
yeah,
I'm just
See, now
curious.
in this regard, what I would like to add, now these kind of things happen, आपने कहा कि ashram खत्म हो जाते हैं, that means after Guru is left, the ashram also is gone, right? So this also depends on what kind of teachings
True.
Guru has given to his disciples.
That's true.
So if the teachings are bona fide, then the disciples can be very well united. And they can carry on the mission of the Guru after the Guru has gone.
Yeah, correct.
But if the teachings are not intense and cannot keep the disciples together, united, then they get disintegrated.
True.
So when the disciples, they get divided, disintegrated, then the mission also is completely gone.
जैसे ओशो का यही हुआ. I mean, ठीक है, आश्रम है, but that kind of
Yes.
magic has gone. Magic chala gaya.
Correct.
So I think the intention matters, isn't
So
it? I said, Guru
course,
ka
of
jo
course, yes.
intention hai, the intention, that matters a lot.
Yes.
That's true.
See, as I mentioned earlier, that Guru has to be the true representative of the Supreme Guru, Bhagavan. And what is the meaning of representative? The person who presents the things, the original teachings as they are, represent.
Correct.
But what happens most of the time, people mispresent the teachings. They add their mental concoction, their speculation, and they use the word jugglery to attract people. Now, since you mentioned about Osho, Rajneesh, he took all the teachings from Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
But he misinterpreted. Now, the main essence, the core objective of teachings of Bhagavad Gita is self-discipline, self-control. And Rajneesh presented it completely opposite. Like, you use your senses as you want.
Yeah. That is not.
The senses are not to be
Indulged.
left loose.
Correct.
They are to be controlled.
Indulgence nahi hai.
Overindulgence also can be.
That's true. Correct. Vinod,
Right?
very nicely. Yes.
Yeah. Any other point you want to mention?
No, just this. आज गुरु के बारे में बातें हो रही तो मेरे ध्यान में आया कि ऐसा क्यों होता है.
See, you use very, very right, appropriate word, the intention. Intention is very important. When someone portrays himself or presents himself as a guru, that person's intention should merge. Now here I will use the word merge. Should merge, his intention should merge with the intention of the original guru, Vyasadeva, his teachings. But unfortunately, what happens, each guru, individual, has his own intention, his own hidden agenda. So that is very superficial.
That's true. That is why they can
So because of that,
sex.
Yes, they become sex. Correct. Correct. There was a very nice bhajan. I think it was sung by Hari Om Charan. पंथ मतों की सुन बातें द्वार तेरे तक पहुंच न पाते.
Yes.
That means we get so deviated by listening to different cults, different so-called gurus, that we feel quite deviated from the original path. We cannot reach you. So this is very important. That's why it is said, that the guru, his instructions, his teachings should match with the scriptures, with the teachings of the original guru, Vyasadeva. And they should match with the other sadhus' teachings. There should not be contradiction between the teachings of the Guru and the scriptures and other sadhus. When there is proper harmonious balance we see in the Guru with the teachings of the scriptures and other sadhus, then when we follow such a Guru, then we can advance very well in our spiritual life. Correct?
Yes, Vinodji, absolutely.
So now I can invite I would invite if others they want to ask some questions.
Yes. Any other questions? Please go ahead.
Ma'am, there are 1-2 questions in the chat.
बोल दो, आप बता दो.
Wait.
Yes, somebody was going to ask question earlier, and she said she will ask question at the end.
Ambika?
Sir, I asked the question about the astrological prediction and Guru.
Yeah, she asked.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sir, very illuminating and liberating your answer was. Otherwise, I was feeling so hopeless that I need a Guru and I will not find a Guru. Like, it was very disturbing.
See, here I want to add. Sorry, may I your name, please?
Ambika.
Sorry?
Ambika.
Anika.
Ambika.
Okay. See, Ambika ji, what I was telling you, that when our desire is very sincere, our intention is very pure, and consciousness is also pure, then Supreme Person will feel obliged to fulfill our desire, our spiritual desire. I'm not talking about material desire, but a spiritual desire. I want to share with you the example of Mahabharata war, when the war was going on and Abhimanyu was killed, and when in the evening, Arjuna found out that the main culprit who was responsible for the killing of Abhimanyu, his dearmost son, was Jayadratha, and he took a vow that he would kill Jayadratha next day before sunset. Right? Now, Arjuna was such a sincere devotee of Krishna because he was following Krishna's instructions very sincerely with full humility. Because of that, Krishna was forced to intervene in the material universal clock. He had to hide the sun planet to make Jayadratha get bewildered that sun is already set, so that Arjuna could kill Jayadratha. Otherwise, Jayadratha was hiding quite deep in the Kaurava army. So Krishna did that, right? So my point, of course, we not imitate Arjuna, but we can follow his footsteps. We can get inspiration from the character of Arjuna. That when somebody can become like Arjuna, then he can force Krishna to intervene in the material law. He can change the material law to support his devotee.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, sir. It is very liberating and illuminating also, and very relaxing.
So my request,
also.
my humble request to you, that like Trupti ji very nicely said, that desire has to be burning, very strong. Fire has to be there. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question?
I want to ask one question.
You're welcome.
Actually, I have heard some people say there is only one Sadguru.
I was actually planning to speak about the Chaturmas. We are in the Chaturmas going on. It's very, very interesting.
Okay. So, but we feel sometimes 2-3 people which help us or guide us to walk on
there
the
is only
path. Yeah. So it feels so means then it contradicts with that statement. So there is only one Sadguru, and we have 2-3 persons like that. So just I'm confused about that. Okay, what is the truth? So am I not have not reached yet, or I have to surf still?
Yeah, see, with regard to that, when we talk about Diksha Guru, once Diksha Guru is only one in our lifetime. Diksha Guru is
Okay.
only one,
Hmm.
but Shiksha Guru can be many. That also Krishna himself showed by his own example. He came in the form of Dattatreya. That whole incident is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the Canto 11 and 12 also. So he had 24 gurus. He learned something from air. He learned something from the different elements. He learned from, I'm just giving an example, he learned from an air how to be detached. Human beings or any creature cannot survive without breathing, right?
Yes.
But still, the air is very much detached. For example, when we take a jug of water, which is half filled with water, so generally we say it is half empty. But the jug is not half empty. It is half filled with water and half is filled with air. The jug,
Yes.
the air will start leaving the space from the jug. That's why we get bubbles. And it will allow water to occupy the space. Air will not become very rebellious. How dare you empty me from this jug? I'm staying here now. How can you treat me like this? Air does not do that. And humility we can learn from water also. We cannot survive without drinking water. Right? Water has nurturing effect on our body. But when we throw water on any slope, water will flow downward. It will not start coming upwards and arguing with us, you cannot survive without me. How dare you throw me like this? Right? So in this way, Dattatreya learned so many things from different elements, from different creatures in the world. So he had 24 gurus. So the point I want to make here is, we can have many Shiksha gurus. We can learn different things from different gurus. But when it comes to spiritual master, Diksha Guru, that's only one in our life.
Thank you.
Does it answer your question?
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I just want to add, day before yesterday, Vinodji and the group, there was a young lady who came to see me. I don't want to say her name because she's from the defense. So she is going to circumnavigate the earth in a sailboat.
Okay.
एक sailboat में she's going to circumnavigate the earth. Okay. So she came and अभी आपने जो example दिया ना about air. So I asked her, what is her relationship with the ocean, with water? So she has gone in a sailboat from India to Australia, all by herself alone in a sailboat. Then from here to South Africa, and now she's going to circumnavigate the earth. Okay, 140 days. She's going to be in a sailboat without any stop. So I was so touched by what she had to say about the ocean. And when she was talking about what the ocean did to her, what kind of a person she was, and now what she has become. She said, when I sit in, I was so fascinated, first of all, because sitting in that boat, can you imagine day and night, night and day? And she said, you lose track of time because, there's no calendar, right? So you lose track of time. And the only thing you have as a friend and a foe is the ocean.
Yes.
And she said, it's taught me what is the meaning of deepness, openness, how hurdles can be overcome, what is loyalty, honesty, everything she said. The ocean is my teacher. जब वो बोल रही थी first time in my 30 years of practice, I started crying. It touched me so much. इतना मुझे touch किया अंदर से that, this young girl, hardly 32-year-old, how she's talking about something that we hardly think about.
Correct.
इतना beautiful था उसके साथ में मेरी meeting, and of course she did a past life session and all that. But just meeting that girl, I just felt when she entered my house, I felt there was a sage who entered, like a बहुत कोई मतलब बहुत डीपली विद्वान व्यक्ति ने मेरे घर में प्रवेश किया होगा. So I'm just saying exactly what Vinod ji ने कहा about the air example जो दिया उन्होंने, how the ocean can also be a shiksha guru. With this girl, I saw that.
Yes.
So it was very, very beautiful. Yeah, so I completely understand that. Tanu, samajh mein aaya?
Yes. Thank you.
Well, yeah. Yes,
Very
Ma'am,
nicely
that
you
is-
put that, Truptiji. Thank you for sharing your experience and your realization. Same example even Krishna gave to Arjuna. He tells Arjuna that don't become like a river. You become like an ocean. Don't go here and there aimlessly without any proper direction, like rivers, but become like an ocean. Like ocean welcomes water from all the rivers, and he doesn't break the limits, doesn't cross the limits. वो अपनी मर्यादा नहीं तोड़ता है.
correct.
He remains within his boundaries.
Yes.
Even though so much of water poured from different rivers into the ocean. So he said that so many desires will keep on attacking your heart, but you don't lose your limits. You don't forget your limits. You be disciplined like an ocean.
Girjesh?
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am? Because there's a bit of network issue here.
No issue, no issue. You're audible. Yeah.
Thank you for giving the opportunity, and I could completely resonate with what you said about that women sailor. I know quite few of them because I'm a sailor myself, and I have gone till Maldives and come back. So it was day and night sailing.
Yeah.
So I could easily resonate with, but not lucky enough because Army planned to send all women expedition for world and not men expedition. So you're left behind. So yeah. And namaste Vinod ji and namaste everyone. And my question is like last what you were saying, like Abhimanyu, Arjuna, and Krishna. You were talking about how in the battlefield, Krishna was giving Miss Arjuna was his disciple, but before if we come back to his life of this Arjuna, he got Dronacharya, where you talked about first Guru as a parent, then Shiksha Guru, then Diksha Guru. But in the modern day today, we don't have the parent Guru and this Shiksha Guru not proper. Miss उस तरीके से नहीं है जो होना चाहिए. That's why to find the Diksha Guru is a problematic situation for all of us. So that is where in the trap I am right now, and that is what I want to know. Ki if the background of the parent Guru and the Shiksha Guru is not good, then how to find that Diksha Guru to get that liberation what you talked about? Thank you.
Very good question. Very, very good question. Thank you for asking this question. It's a very valid point, very relevant. I think many people would resonate with this, your point, what you raised. Very good point. So see, this kind of situation, Shita Guru comes into picture. Paramatma, who also is residing in our heart, So he guides us. Now we need to understand also why this kind of unfortunate situation is being faced by most of the people in modern world. That means, they don't get proper shiksha from the parents guru, and then the other gurus also, shiksha gurus also, they are not able to guide because this knowledge is missing. Parents, they don't get proper knowledge how to bring their children up. Now, in this regard, what I'm going to say, it may sound a very strict, very strong statement, but that statement is made in the Bhagavatam. I told you earlier about Rishabdev, who's Krishna's incarnation, giving instructions to his sons. When he told his sons, that one should not become a guru unless and until that person is confident enough that he can help his disciple to be free from the bondage of birth and death. So same rule applies to parents. He told his children, Rishabdev told his sons that one should not get married unless the person is confident that he can help his spouse to be free from the bondage of birth and death. And one should not beget or bear any child, should not become a parent unless and until the person is confident enough to help the children, their offsprings, to become liberated from the cycle of birth and death. Now, this kind of education is not there, right? In my Ayurveda practice, I come across many clients, they say, oh, I got this child. It was by accident. We never planned. It happened by accident. Now, generally, the consequences of the accident are not so good, right? So these guidelines are properly given in our scriptures. Unfortunately, people, they do not have any interest, they do not have any time, they do not have any willingness to learn from the scriptures. We get attracted, distracted by the so-called the foreign culture. But what is there at home, in our own country, in our own society, in India, we demean it. We think that, these are superstitious things. They are not applicable in the modern world. The modern glittery world looks like, very attractive for us. But actually that's wrong. So if this education system is followed, then there won't be any case that anyone says, that parents did not give proper shiksha to the children. And then even the school teachers, the shiksha gurus, they did not give proper teachings. They did not inculcate proper values, good values in the hearts of the students or the children. So that kind of situation we won't face. So the problem lies with the generation who are going to become parents. They need to learn first. They expect, they wish, they hope, they desire that their children should have very good values, but they themselves don't imbibe these values. If they don't imbibe, how can they inculcate those kind of values in the children's heart? It cannot be possible. In one of the previous sessions, I had given an example. If we want to put any tilak on somebody's forehead, first thing is that we need to put our finger in the tilak first. Without applying some tilak on our finger, how can you apply tilak on somebody's forehead? So if the parents don't imbibe these qualities, these values, how can they inculcate these values in the hearts of the children? It's not possible. So sorry, I'm a bit, speaking a bit so much of in passion and a bit strong, but that's a fact of life. That's a sad fact of our modern society.
Absolutely right, Vinod ji.
Am I making sense here?
Yeah, absolutely. मेरे स्कूल में एक बच्चा है, अभी तो वो 10th पास करके ही has passed away, पर थोड़े साल पहले उसके पेरेंट्स मेरे पास आए थे ये कहने के लिए कि मेरा बेटा 5:30-6 बजे उठता है. He was in the 6th standard at that time. मेरा बेटा 5:30-6 बजे उठता है और उसने अपने कमरे के अंदर एक भगवान की मूर्ति स्थापित की है और वो 6 बजे उठ के पूजा करता है और फिर वो स्कूल जाता है. मैम, हम लोग बहुत ज्यादा वरीड हो गए हैं. मैंने कहा इसमें व्हाट इज देयर टू गेट वरीड, अगर वो सुबह उठ के पूजा कर रहा है. तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं, हमारा डर है कि इंजीनियर नहीं बनेगा, वो तो साधु बन जाए. मैंने कहा अगर वो इंजीनियर नहीं बनेगा और साधु बनेगा, उसमें आपको क्या दिक्कत है? नहीं नहीं मैम, ऐसा तो नहीं होना चाहिए, आप उसके साथ बात करो। मैंने कहा व्हाट डू यू वांट मी टू टेल हिम? मैं क्या बोलूं उसको कि बेटा तुम पाठ पूजा करना बंद कर दो?
Yeah.
आई सेड हाउ कैन आई से दैट टू अ चाइल्ड? तो वो बच्चा फिर 2-3 दिन के बाद मेरे पास आया, आई वाज एट स्कूल, तो ही केम टू मीट मी। तो उसने मुझे कहा, शकुंतला नोज अबाउट दिस चाइल्ड, तो उसने मुझे कहा कि प्रणाम। तो जनरली बच्चे ऐसे बोलते नहीं दिल से, हेलो मैम, गुड मॉर्निंग, ऐसे बोलते हैं, ठीक है? तो ही केम टू मी एंड ही सेड प्रणाम अध्यापिका। तो ऐसा तो मुझे कोई कभी बोलता नहीं है। तो मैंने कहा कि आई सेड यू आर यश? सो ही सेड यस मैम। सो ऐसे बेटा क्या हुआ? सो इसे मैम मुझे ना आधे दिन की छुट्टी चाहिए। तो मैंने कहा बेटा वो तो प्रिंसिपल से आपको मांगनी पड़ेगी ना, मुझसे तो नहीं मांग सकते। इसे
हाँ,
मैंने कहा क्यों आपको
हाँ,
आधे दिन की छुट्टी चाहिए? तो उन्होंने कहा कि मैं घर जाके प्रार्थना करना चाहता हूँ। मैंने कहा बेटा क्यों
अरे वाह,
प्रार्थना करना चाहते हो घर जाके? इसे नहीं, मेरे ग्रैंडफादर हॉस्पिटल में गए हैं, तो मैं घर जाके उनके लिए प्रार्थना करना चाहता हूँ। अब इतना प्यारा बच्चा, ठीक है, और उसके पेरेंट्स वरीड है। सोचो, मतलब व्हाट यू हैव सेड
yeah,
इज सो ट्रू कि पेरेंट्स ही बच्चों को उस तरह की शिक्षा देना नहीं चाहते। अब ये बच्चा खुद शिक्षा ले रहा
हाँ,
है, पता नहीं कहां से उसके मन में आ रहा है ये सब चीजें। फिर मैंने कहा कि बेटा आपको ये सब बातें कैसे आई, ये प्रार्थना करना, आप सुबह उठते हैं प्रार्थना करते हैं? ये सेड हाँ, मेरे मेरे दादा दादी काइंड ऑफ दे गो फॉर काइंड सत्संग जाते हैं, और मैं सब स्कूल से जाता हूँ, तो मैं भी सत्संग जाता हूँ उनके साथ में। मुझे देन ही सो
हाँ,
स्मार्ट, विनोद जी, ही टोल्ड मी, मुझे पता है मेरे पापा मम्मी आपको मिलने आए थे ना, आप ना उनको कह दो
अच्छा,
कि मैं इंजीनियर बनूंगा। ही टोल्ड मी कि उनको बोल दो कि मैं इंजीनियर बनूंगा, पर उसके बाद फिर मैं जो मुझे मर्जी वो मैं करूंगा, बट आई बिकम इंजीनियर, प्लीज टेल देम। अब
yes,
ईश्वर
yes,
ऐसे लोगों को भेजते हैं, पर हमारे अर्थली बीइंग्स जो है ना, वो ऐसे बच्चे को खींच के बोले इंजीनियर बन जाओ, शादी
correct,
करो, ये करो, वो करो। सो व्हाट टू डू,
correct,
एंड यू आर एब्सोल्युटली राइट, कि पेरेंट्स को पता होना चाहिए कि भाई आपको पेरेंट बनना है कि नहीं बनना। डू यू
हाँ,
वांट टू, because you are going to rent yourself out to be with a child, and you are right.
yes,
एक्सीडेंट का कॉन्सिक्वेंस क्या होगा? एक्सीडेंट का
हाँ,
कॉन्सिक्वेंस तो खराब ही होगा। तो ये बहुत ही
yeah,
ब्यूटीफुल बातें हैं जो मुझे लगता है लोगों को सुनने की जरूरत है बिफोर दे बिकम अ पेरेंट, इफ दे वांट टू बिकम अ पेरेंट। सो
मैम एक्चुअली
yes,
हाँ,
पेरेंट्स ना तो बच्चे को पूरा मटेरियलिस्टिक बनाना चाहते हैं ना पूरा स्पिरिचुअल बनाना चाहते हैं, वो बीच में ही उसको कब उधर जाता है तो इधर खींचते हैं, इधर जाता है तो इधर खींचते हैं।
मेरे पास 2-3 ऐसे एग्जाम्पल्स है विनोद जी। पेरेंट्स बच्ची को लेकर जाते हैं सत्संग, ठीक है, मतलब बच्चा बड़ा होता है, सत्संग 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 करते रहते हैं, बच्चा जा रहा है सत्संग, ठीक है। उसके बाद 20-25 साल की उम्र में जब बच्चे लड़का या लड़की कहते कि भाई मुझे तो बख्श दो, मुझे शादी नहीं करनी है, मुझे इस मार्ग पे चलना है, दे आर वेरी अपसेट। दे कम टू अस एंड दे से मैम अभी आप उसको समझाइए, अभी तो देखो 25 साल की हो गई, अब उसको शादी करनी चाहिए। तो फिर सत्संग लेके ही क्यों गए? So this is the problem,
हाँ,
Ambika.
हाँ,
They
Yes,
themselves don't know
yeah,
what they want.
yes.
Why are they going for satsang in the first place?
They
जाके
only want them to follow. They only
हाँ,
want their child to follow
है,
कि वो जो
है।
बोले वो करे.
नहीं नहीं, एक्चुअली अंबिका, विनोद
ये
जी
क्या
ने
है,
बहुत
मतलब जो
अच्छा कहा, they go
आजकल का जो
there,
समाज
हाँ, वो सिर्फ जाते हैं वहां पे, सुनते हैं, बट
वो सोच,
नहीं, है ना विनोद जी?
हाँ, ये क्या है अभी, मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम व्हाट हैपेंस, पीपल इवन दे go for satsang or they go to temple, their main objective is not to acquire some spiritual philosophical knowledge,
Ask,
is mainly for socializing,
socializing, asking,
networking,
ये दे दो, ये दे दो, हाँ।
इसको
और
मिलना है
आज
उसको
का,
मिलना है,
करेक्ट, और विनोद जी आज का आपने जो पूरा स्टार्ट किया था, वाज विथ साउंड, विथ लिसनिंग।
Right,
yes,
right. Right.
अब पूरा जो आज का जो था कि श्रवणन करना है हमको, है ना?
Correct.
तो यही तो प्रॉब्लम है, दे आर नॉट लिसनिंग टू द सत्संग.
Yeah.
चौरी
Ma'am.
एजेंडा
Actually, very good.
Application doesn't happen there.
Very valuable
Application नहीं होता
contribution.
है ना. Application नहीं होता है, and they say, okay, these things are not for
दे आर
us.
नॉट लिसनिंग. सुन नहीं.
सांसारिक में नहीं होता है ये सब, ऐसे बोल देते हैं ना लोग.
आई थिंक विनोद जी ने आज जो स्टार्ट किया था सुनना,
हाँ,
वो सुन ही नहीं रहे. दे आर नॉट एबल टू ग्रास्प द एसेंस. ओनली
correct.
वर्ड्स दिमाग में
Yes.
जा रहे हैं, बट एसेंस नहीं है उनके पास. विनोद जी, maybe
Um,
we can conclude on this today.
I have a question,
Ma'am.
ma'am. Can I
अच्छा,
ask you?
okay, sorry, Dipti, go ahead, बेटा.
Yeah.
आपकी आवाज
नमस्ते.
कट रही है.
हेलो, अब आ रही है आपको आवाज? हेलो.
Yeah, we can hear you.
हाँ.
Clear.
हाँ जी, नमस्ते. नमस्ते विनोद जी. तो मुझे दो क्वेश्चंस पूछने हैं विनोद जी. एक तो आपने जैसे बताया कि आपको शादी ही नहीं करनी चाहिए अगर आपको लगता है कि आप अपने स्पाउस को जीवन मृत्यु के धागे से या सैल्वेशन के मार्ग पे हेल्प नहीं कर सकते. और जैसे आपने कहा कि और सिमिलर बात आपने बच्चों के लिए भी कही. तो हमारे शास्त्र, सो बेसिकली जो मेरी जितनी भी अंडरस्टैंडिंग है उससे मुझे लगता है कि एक ह्यूमन बीइंग को मेंटली उस स्तर पे होना, उस समझदारी के स्तर पे होना जहां वो ये समझे कि आई एम गेटिंग इनटू अ रिलेशनशिप लाइक मैरिज, which will definitely bring attachment, family, children, but my end goal is detachment और salvation. क्योंकि ऊपर तो दोनों को अकेले आए हैं और अकेले ही जाना है. सो और हमारे शास्त्रों में अलग अलग आश्रम्स के बारे में भी बात की है कि 25 से 50 साल तक जैसे गृहस्थ आश्रम है, फिर आपके पास फिर 50 के बाद आप वानप्रस्थ आश्रम. सो आर वी सेइंग कि हम 25 साल जब हम एक्सपेक्ट करें कि जो भी युवा है वो गृहस्थ आश्रम में प्रवेश कर रहा है, तो वो उसमें उस स्तर की अंडरस्टैंडिंग 25 साल की उम्र में अगर आ जाती है तो आई एम वेरी सरप्राइज. तो मुझे ये द्वंद्व हुआ मन में, कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन हुआ जब आपने ये बात बोली जो आपने बताया, राइट, शादी के बारे में. क्योंकि 25 साल की उम्र में मुझे नहीं लगता कि वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिखने को मिलती है. तो क्या हमारे शास्त्र एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि 25 इयर्स में ही हमारे पास वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग होनी चाहिए और उसके बाद शादी में प्रवेश होना चाहिए? वो एक फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन था. और दूसरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि क्या हम इज इट नेसेसरी टू स्टे मतलब शादी बिना रहना, is it necessary to stay unmarried to attain realization of any kind? क्योंकि लहरी महाशय जी भी थे, वो गृहस्थ होते हुए भी उन्होंने साल्वेशन का पाथ लिया. सो एग्जाम्पल्स ऐसे भी हैं, जैसे गुरु नानक थे तो वो भी शादीशुदा थे, लेकिन सब इनफैक्ट 10 गुरु शादीशुदा थे, लेकिन उन्होंने भी सैल्वेशन लिया. तो कहाँ तक शादी ना करना इज सो इम्पोर्टेंट टू गेन सैल्वेशन? और अगर शादी करते हैं तो डज इट मीन के फिर हम प्रवचन नहीं सुन रहे हैं, या वो कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट ही हो रहा है, या अगर शादी नहीं करना चाह रहे तो, या अगर पेरेंट्स एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि बच्चे शादी करके उनके पास एक सोशल सिक्योरिटी भी हो इन टर्म्स ऑफ पीपल, तो वो कितने हद तक सही या गलत है? सो दिस इज माय सेकंड क्वेश्चन.
Hello.
हेलो,
We are able to hear you.
या ओके, या
हाँ.
ओवर टू यू सर. मैंने दो
हाँ.
क्वेश्चंस. हाँ जी.
हाँ, तो अभी देखिए जो first question you asked that there is a division of life in 4 parts: Brahmacharya ashram, Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, and Sannyas ashram. Right? So after the age of 25, a young adult can enter into Grihastha ashram. But unfortunately, he may not have that kind of understanding. What I said, what is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5 by Rishabdev, instructions to his sons, that one should not enter into a Grihastha ashram unless and until the person is confident enough that he will be able to help his spouse or her spouse to be liberated from the cycle of birth and death, and one should not be unless and until one is sure that the offspring can be liberated from the cycle of birth and death. So these instructions are given. Now, why that understanding is not there when the person enters into the Grihastha ashram? Because to begin with, who is following proper Brahmacharya ashram? Now, I don't mean that Brahmacharya ashram is, that person is to leave the house and go away and live in the Gurukul. I'm not talking about that. Practically also, it's not possible nowadays. But still, when we talk about the Brahmacharya ashram, that period, during that period, the foundation has to be strong enough of the whole human life. The Brahmacharya period is the foundation. So the knowledge is to be given to the person so that when the person attains youth, becomes an adult, attains the age of getting married, that person has enough knowledge how to help, how to run a Grihastha life. Most of us, though we say that we are in Grihastha life, but we are not Grihasthas, we are Grahmeti. That means we want to enjoy life. That's why people, they get married. Right? So that kind of concept is not there in our scriptures because the scriptures are not followed properly. That's why the person who comes to the age of getting married doesn't have any clue that what his or her responsibility should be or supposed to be as a husband and a wife. And that's why we have so many problems in the married life nowadays. Because that education is lacking. Right? Now, what was the second question? Can you repeat, please?
Yeah, I was asking that, I was asking you how important it is to remain unmarried to attain self-realization. And if it is really necessary, because, sometime back we were having a discussion that, these days when the children do not want to get married, parents push them towards being married. So while I agree that, individual choices need to be respected. That is one perspective. However, I do not see any harm in parents expecting their children to, look into the continuity of life, because if the ultimate goal is realization, is it also not possible to have realization after being married? And I was also quoting Larry Mashai ji and Guru Nanak ji because they were all married, right? इनफैक्ट मैंने तो कोई भगवान ऐसे देखे ही नहीं है जिनकी शादी नहीं हुई हो. शंकर है तो पार्वती है, राम है तो सीता है, एंड एवरीबडी इज एक्सपेक्टिंग ह्यूमन बीइंग्स टू रिमेन साधु संत अनमैरिड. अगर कुछ अगर आपको सैल्वेशन चाहिए तो आप अनमैरिड रहो, लेकिन लक्ष्मी है तो नारायण है, शिव है तो शक्ति है. एक भी भगवान तो मैंने देखा ही नहीं है जिनकी शादी नहीं हुई हो, जिनके बच्चे नहीं हो. बट द एक्सपेक्टेशन इज कि अगर आपको साधु बनना है या साल्वेशन लेना है तो आप शादी मत करो. So I'm really confused.
Now here I want to clarify one point. See, this is also many people have this misconception that Grihasthas cannot be gurus. There are so many examples, like you yourself gave example of Guru Nanak Dev and other 10 gurus in the Sikh community. So yes, they were married. So there are so many other examples also. Now we need to understand the difference between being unmarried and being brahmachari, being single and spinster and brahmachari. Now many people, they equate wrongly. If somebody is a bachelor cannot be necessarily a brahmachari. A spinster cannot be necessarily a brahmacharini. No, in today's world it's not possible. I give you practical, like kind of a drishtant example. One 30-year-old man, he went to see his one sadhu, saying, I'm 30 years old, I'm a brahmachari, and I have this problem. Sadhu told him that you clarify your point. You are 30 years old, unmarried man, not a brahmachari. Had you been a brahmachari, you would not have any problem. You would have been in a position to resolve other people's problem, because brahmacharya gives that kind of potency, that kind of power, that kind of strength, that kind of intelligence. The person is able to resolve problems in other people's life. Now you yourself are having problem, yourself are having problem. It shows that you're not a brahmachari. You're just only an unmarried man. So the point I want to clarify here, that this is misconception people have, that to become a sadhu, one has to become just sansar ko tyag dena hai. No. Vairagya does not mean running away from the material world. Vairagya, real vairagya means you live in the material world, but be detached at the same time. Detachment has to come from within, not externally. Externally, people can stay away from the material objects, but they have so much strong desire to enjoy the material life, material objects. So that kind of vairagya is not good. That is called a fake vairagya, hypocrisy. And Krishna also does not endorse that kind of vairagya. So we need to understand the proper meaning of brahmacharya and vairagya, tyag. Sadhu does not necessarily mean the person has to renounce the world. No. There have been so many grihasthas who have become very good sadhus, become good devotees. So we need to understand the proper essence of these kind of this terminology, brahmacharya, vairagya, tyag, these kind of things. One of the sessions I had shared practical example. Srila Prabhupada, who started this ISKCON movement, when he was in New York, sannyasi sadhu visiting from India went there, and he asked his disciples to take picture the bundle of notes there on the table, and he's doing like this. I want to stay away from this money. This is Maya. I'm a sadhu. I'm a vairagi, so I don't touch Maya. So Srila Prabhupada told his disciples, you take my picture, I'm hugging the bundle of notes, and I'm still sannyasi. If we say the Maya, the currency notes, they're Lakshmi, how can we reject Lakshmi? Lakshmi is mother. So we need to bring the Lakshmi at the proper place, at the feet of Narayana. We don't have to use Lakshmi for our sense gratification. So, when people, they have this limited understanding about vairagya, they renounce the world, but the desire to enjoy the world is so strong within their heart. So these are all very fake sadhus. They are not genuine sadhus. Genuine sadhus means who live in the world, who perform their duties. They earn their living also, no problem. Our Shastras don't discourage us from earning our livelihood. No, by all means, if you are in the Grihastha ashram, you have to provide for your family. And whatever profession, whatever business, whatever job you're doing, please do that job. Continue your work. At the same time, always get connected with the Supreme Person. You should not forget the actual goal of your life. You should not get so much entangled in the material activities that you forget the goal of human life. As long as you remember that and you work on that, progress on that path, at the same time, simultaneously, you work, you recognize, you understand your responsibilities, material responsibilities, and you fulfill those responsibilities, by all means, you do that. Our Shastras don't tell us to give up everything and run away from the family, run away from the society, run away from your village, run away from your city. No, not like that. You stay there wherever you are. At the same time, you be detached from within. That is what our scriptures are teaching us.
Thank you.
Am I making a clear point here?
Yeah, thank you.
Sir, that means like if somebody is running away from society or family, he is also giving up his responsibility and creating more karma.
Yes.
Yes.
Generally, yes. Of course,
Okay.
if the person is genuine, he has genuine kind of a detachment, that's a different thing. But most
Yeah, that.
of the time nowadays it's not so genuine. That
Yes.
sincerity is not seen nowadays.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
कहते हैं कहीं भागने की जरूरत नहीं है. Wherever you are, God is there.
Yes.
To go
So जैसे
anywhere.
कहते हैं ना, संन्यास का अर्थ भागना नहीं है.
Correct.
संन्यास का अर्थ संसार में रह के जागना है.
जागना है. करेक्ट. बढ़िया. और आपने बहुत अच्छा कहा about money. You know, money is nothing but a metaphor of
भागो
Lakshmi.
मत, संसार में रह के जागो.
Correct. नहीं, और money is nothing but a metaphor for Lakshmi. अगर हम metaphorically की money को समझे, तो it is nothing but Lakshmi. God is
Yes.
Lakshmi. That's all. Wonderful. आज का सेशन बहुत ही deep and lovely था, है ना everybody?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. And also the story you shared about that girl who is sailing the ocean.
Yeah.
Listening to that story itself is a new world opening.
Yeah. Oh, I was lovely. The time जो मैंने उस लड़की के साथ बिताया, I'm going to be meeting her in Goa again because she's posted in Goa. Yeah. So, but it touched my heart. She really, really deeply touched my heart. Whatever she said, मतलब जैसे होता है ना कि आपको एकदम जैसे, you know, touches you so deeply that you just have tears in your eyes. It was so beautiful.
Ma'am, you actually exuded that energy and we could all feel that energy, while you were sharing that, you were actually transmitting that feeling and energy, and it reached
When I
to
was
all
narrating it to my daughter, I started crying again. She said, Mama, what's happening? I said, I don't know. How much she has touched me. Just she was with me for 3 hours, but whatever half an hour she spoke about the ocean, no? It was I was deeply touched by what she said.
Ma'am, it's like a new world, new yuga. You are saying now, like people are saying Satyuga is coming.
Yeah.
So it's a new, I can't explain, but a totally new horizon is opening for us. Like what she is doing and like
अब आएगा वो
it's,
तो विनोद जी बताएंगे हमें. But अभी तो we are living in कलयुग, है ना विनोद जी?
Yes. It's a very long week before Satyuga.
चलिए,
Now
we
I have a request. Actually, by one of my Shiksha gurus is sitting next to me, my wife.
I know.
So she wants to say something.
Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Please excuse. Hare Krishna. Please excuse me. It's quite late where we are right now. It's almost midnight, so I may not be the best person to speak right now, but I just couldn't help overhearing the discussion today, which was so very deep and profound. And I just wanted to share regarding, someone had raised a question about whether one needs to be a renunciate or whether one should get married, whether it makes a difference in spiritual progress. And while it is true, whatever Vinodji said about the fact that one needs to be let's just say that shouldn't one can help to achieve liberation. At the same time, so many examples of people who are married is, and I think from a personal perspective, I think I would definitely say that being married is not at all an impediment spiritual emancipation for spiritual progress. On the contrary, marriage is like being on an express train to reaching our spiritual goals. because we all know, those of us who are married, we all know how challenging married life can be. And in that ashram, in that Grihastha ashram, we have the opportunity to develop ourselves and to cultivate so many different qualities which contribute to our spiritual growth. And if we were not married, we will probably also be able to cultivate these qualities, but at a much slower pace. But because in Grihastha life, we have to live with someone, we say in Vedic culture, marriage is not between two people, it's between two families. So we have to, we live with our husband, we take care, adjustment is there between two individuals living together. And then when children come, we have to sacrifice so much, put their needs and interests first, give them unconditional love. Then we have in-laws, we have parents-in-law, sisters-in-law, brothers-in-laws. With everyone, we need to maintain good relationships. So actually being married helps us to cultivate so many wonderful Vaishnava qualities. So marriage is actually not at all an impediment for spiritual growth. On the contrary, it's actually a catalyst. It helps us to grow better in spiritual life, provided we understand the reason for getting married. Like Vinodji said, most of us, we get married because we want to, the most common mistake we make in getting married is thinking that, oh, if I'm a woman, I get married, I'm thinking that from now on, my husband is going to make me happy. And the husband thinks, oh, my wife is going to make my life wonderful and happy. Okay, we forget that it's being happy is not someone else's responsibility. It's our job to make ourselves happy. It's not in someone else's hands. And the main reason, the main goal of Grihastha life is to put God or Krishna in the center of our lives and live our lives revolving around him. So when we have that goal, then Grihastha really becomes an ashram. Marriage really becomes an ashram. And it is really, as I said, it's like being on an express train, go to reaching the goal of spiritual life. So there's no impediment at all. I would recommend marriage to everyone, especially for women. I think it's very much recommended, but for everyone, because it really helps us to cultivate many different qualities which we wouldn't be able to cultivate so easily if we were living on our own. It's actually easier to live by ourselves than it is to live with other people and still maintain good relationships, still, focus on our spiritual, our seva, our sadhana, our growth. So definitely, Grihastha ashram is very much recommended.
Thank you, ma'am, so much. Thank you so much. I think your perspective was very fresh, very different from what we have been, listening to since ages. You go to any pravachan, somewhere people will initially propagate for you to be brahmacharya. Then towards the end, they will say, no, even if you are going towards grihastha. But I think you brought a very fresh perspective. Thank you so much. It was very deep and profound. I really, it really touched my heart and it resonated somewhere with me to what you said. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. But yes, what I'm saying is also, based on Shastra. It's not, of course, it's personal experience as well, but it's not my mental speculation. It's also given in the Shastras that if we enter Grihastha ashram with the right intention, with the right mood, and we live it in the right way, then Grihastha ashram becomes a strong catalyst for us to really grow in our spiritual life. So it's definitely not an impediment. I just wanted to address that point that somebody brought up earlier. So thank you for your patience.
Thank you so much, Vinodji. Ma'am, thank you so much. And thank you everybody here. I know, Vinodji, thank you, both of you. It's very late out there, but yet I think the discussion today was so profound and such wonderful answers that have come. Really, it's been really wonderful. So thank you everybody for being here. And again, next month we will have Vinod.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was very nice, very profound.